November was an interesting mix of games for me. A few I made a full series on, a couple I tested out, and some I've thought more about since posting. I'm Vadd, and this video is a casual recap of what worked, what I liked, what I didn't, and some little details that slipped through the cracks the first time. I finally finished Stellar Blade. It was a pretty good journey all around. Definitely a surprise. I did not think I was going to like it as much as I did. There's a lot of promising things that were going on in Stellar Blade, but a lot of things that fell a little flat. And I'm really hoping the developers will make a sequel to build upon their wins and their successes and polish up some things. I felt like the characters were just a little too undercooked. I just wanted to be more emotionally connected to the world and the characters we interacted with. And that just didn't happen for me, as there was a lack of personality in the dialogue and the tone of the narrative. Combat was a little more flashy than I generally like. I thought it was going to be a little more grounded than it was, but it was fun and engaging, and we were constantly unlocking new abilities to try out. So it really did feel pretty good to engage with. And combat's most of the game, most of all gameplay is just fighting stuff. So it definitely carried the heavy lifting there. This is one of the ones I did complete a series on, as well as put together a review for, if you want to hear a little more of my critical thoughts on it. But Stellar Blade overall, not bad, pretty good. This month also had me spending some time in kind of a mix of things, just a little bit here and there. We spent some more time in Helldivers 2 and Mechabellum. Kingdom 2 Grounds got some more time as well. Ball Pit, that Ballx Pit, right? Ball Pit. We definitely put a good amount of time into that, as well as Promise Mascot Agency. Just a bunch of titles that I kind of clink my way through, that I've got some things that are cooking, some things that are done, some things that are live streamed, just things that got my time but didn't necessarily. Kingdom 2 Crowns is a really simple, cozy game where you have your horse, you've got your king, you've got your queen. You kind of just pick up coins and spend them to expand your kingdom, and that's kind of the gist of it. It's a really great one for a handheld device. I don't think you need a big setup, a big heavy rig to get this thing running. It's an easy one to kind of pick up and play and go from there. Helldivers 2 and Mechabellum, we've live streamed a ton of these games, and they've got good things going on, and I still enjoy my time in them from time to time. Ball Pit was kind of a big surprise this month. It was not a game I was expecting to like at all. It just didn't look like fun. You bounce balls, but it turns out it's actually pretty engaging. There's a very small base building element to it that really actually lands, where you kind of bounce your guys around to build the buildings. And as you unlock new characters to throw more balls, it just has just that little bit of pleasant RNG, where each run you unlock a different type of ball. And as you unlock more of these balls to bounce, you unlock different powers and combos. And it's just an engaging little game. Promise Mascot Agency is just one of those that I keep working my way through, and I just am super undecided with where I stand on that one. Whether I like it, I love it, I hate it, I want to leave it. I put time in and I go, is this my type of game? I don't know. I think I'm going to get to the end of it and maybe still be a little unclear. It's kind of a tough one for me. Age of Wonders 4 had their big vampire update. Super excited for this. Definitely love the vampire update. Brought a lot of cool, new, fun stuff. Maybe some stuff that's a little more overpowered. I don't think we've ever seen some army combos as strong as we have in the vampire update, particularly the ability to build a morale army, right? Where you can basically, instead of attacking the enemy's health bar, you can kind of attack their morale. As if the enemy has a low enough morale, they just lose. They surrender and run away. It's never been more viable than it has been now, and it's kind of hilarious to field your whole army and just instill terror in your foes while your vampire, armies just endlessly march through the sunless lands. It's a cool one. It's a cool one for sure. I've put about another solid 20 hours in the Final Fantasy 16 this month, which is a huge chunk of time, and I'm not even sure I'm halfway through that game. There is so much going on there, and I keep thinking I'm making good progress. And then every hour, a giant new narrative curveball lands, a giant new, I can't believe that just happened, or a giant new, okay, this finally happened. They've been setting this up for the last 40 hours. There's a lot of good things happening in Final Fantasy 16. I'm enjoying my time there, but I'm definitely a little bit undecided who the game is for. There's a lot of just very video gamey stuff in that game, and I don't think that's going to appeal to everyone. This month also had me putting more time into Arc Raiders, which is a live service game that is tough to recommend, as it is just one patch or update away from being hot slop. It's a pretty tough game because it's got a lot of PvP, and there is no safe zone of any kind. So all the missions you run, there's always that risk you're gonna lose stuff, and that fear of losing your gear, that gear fear is tough to overcome, as it's the type of game that wants you to feel anxious and stressed, as those are core mechanics to the experience. Is that the more tense and on edge they can make you, the more the game succeeds. And those aren't always emotions I want to be engaging with when I'm sitting down to play something. Put some more time into Hades, the first one. I saw Hades 2. I think it's officially out of early access. I kind of lose track of these, but I don't want to mess too much with Hades 2 before I finish up Hades 1. I've got several really good runs going. There's just some like odds and ends achievements and some corners of the map that I want to make sure I've shined my light on in every corner before I talk too much more about it. But it's a pretty solid game to say the absolute least. Lastly, this month has me back in the Jurassic World Evolution series. We live streamed some challenges and we live streamed a couple of runs all the way through on the now dead live stream channel. But we've got a couple hundred hours and a lot of episodes that were in Jurassic World Evolution 1 and 2. They're all gone now, which is okay. I think I still have a challenge run up on the Vadd channel, the main channel, the home channel there. But suffice to say, Jurassic World Evolution 3 is out and it's excellent. They basically took all of the good things from the previous two games and just polished them out, smoothed them out. And on one hand, I'm a little bummed because I've got a lot of really fun, DLC extra creatures and exhibits and stuff for the first and second game. I thought I'd get to play them a little longer before the third game came out. The third game came out kind of quick here. Not a complaint. I thought I'd have more time with them before this third one was going to be here, but it's here and it's ready. And I'm looking forward to seeing what they add to the game and what new challenges, features, and creatures that they add in. And of course, this month, how could we forget old school RuneScape has a new skill. That's right. Old school RuneScape added in sailing. To put some perspective on that, I think it's been like more than a decade since there's been a single new skill added. And old school RuneScape technically has all of, I think, the original skills from when the game launched in. So it's been closer to like maybe 20 years. Okay, not like 1 or 2 years. It's been a long time since they added a new skill. And I've played casually on and off since the game launched, which I guess is now, I think they call it 07scape or 08scape. I forget the years. I'm not paying attention. I just log in and boot my guy around. But I've definitely lost some accounts, started some new accounts over the years. I'm not super hardcore. I'm actually the opposite. I'm very, very casual. And I went to go and try and do sailing, but I needed a new character. My new character is like the big noob. And I just don't have time for this. And so I started a little secret series. I called it The Life of Noob, just Noobscape. And it's just whatever character I could like find a login for. And I was like, man, do I have even any skill points? What's in my bank? I have no idea. But I realized it's been so long since I've really engaged with things. I've forgotten things and I've learned some new things. And the thing I learned is that they paywalled the new skill. It's a members only skill. I was like, oh my goodness. Well, okay. I'd like to try the sailing thing because I've done all the other skills at one time or another. Okay, here's what I'll do. I'll take this Noobscape, this Life of Noob character, try and get all the free skills up to kind of like a decent level. And then maybe I'll do like 1 month of membership and try out the sailing skill and just see how it goes. But I couldn't justify just buying the membership, doing the sailing skill and like moving on with my life. I was like, no, I'll get all the free skills at a good level. And I just did not remember how tough that was going to be. So I've got this like tiny little mini series of me just trying to get some basic levels. And it is such a grindy game. It is the grind. The levels and the skills are the game. And I just don't have a lot of time. So a lot of the episodes are like, these are the 15 minutes I had that week to get it done. This has been going on for a while. And oh my goodness, I don't know if this might take me 6 years. At my current pace, we're not getting there in the next 12 months. That's all I know. But it is kind of funny how many of the games from this November were games you could pick up and put down very easily, where they had the ability to kind of pause and walk away from. So with RuneScape, I mean, if I put in like 20 minutes for, that week, that's all I got done, but I got something done. Or in Hades, each room you go into, it saves and lets you go back into it if you exit the game, right? And with Kingdoms Two Crowns, you just stop walking, nothing happens. A lot of these games are games that gave me flexibility to play when I had the time to engage with them, and that makes a big difference. I definitely, like I said, spent some time in Arc Raiders, but it's hard to spend time there when I don't always have an unblocked, a good block of time to be able to sit down and be like, all right, I can definitely do one solid arc raid. Because it just feels terrible if you have 30 minutes, you arc raid one, solid run, you've got a good kit, and you die on the way out, and 30 minutes later you have nothing. That just feels terrible, which happens. It definitely happens in arc raiders. So the ability for RuneScape, right? You log out, you're done. You got the XP you got, or for Hades 1 or some of the other ones, was just really nice to have in November, which is a busy season my way.